I think it's worth us having a chat. I don't know how hot this take is, but you might get real fiery about this. We'll see, all right? It's about LeBron James. And obviously he's about to capture the all-time scoring record. Great achievement. And I guess this take sort of came upon because I came across this social media post here that I'll read portions of it. Okay, that basically they're trying to spin that LeBron is a definition of the GOAT. And we've obviously talked about this all the time. But the thing that they're trying to elaborate in this take here is that um, how great his individual stats are. And I know you were a big LeBron fan, maybe 5 years ago. So I'd love to sort of see where you stand now, because I know you've sort of come around now to sort of admit that maybe he's not going to reach that number one spot anymore. It's not possible. Maybe 5 years ago it was, but no longer at this point. But basically here on this list, yeah, he's like number two obviously on the all-time scoring list. He's like number six on the all-time assist list. He's number nine on the all-time steals list, and he's number five on the triple double list as well. And obviously he's going into is this season 20? No, it's season 19, isn't it? This season 19 for him, I
No,
think.
I'm pretty sure it's year 20. It's year
It's year
20.
20. Year 20. Okay. And
Yeah, five as an 18.
and I think the thing here is that LeBron has great stats. No one's going to dispute that. If we were talking about who is the got the best stats, it's LeBron. Okay. Look, he's a champion. He's got 4 rings. Okay. We don't. You can't take that away from him. It did come from 10 attempts, I think. Yeah, but he's got his 4 rings. And that's part of it being great. Obviously, his longevity. I think that's another key point there too. But I think here's the part where LeBron, I don't think ever should be and will be. Okay, and I don't know why people still continue to spin stats as simply the only take, because I don't know how many players or people or just basketball players, I mean in general, really aspire to be LeBron. He never became that sort of influential player like Steph Curry currently was, okay, and is, okay. Players like Kobe, players like Iverson, players like MJ. Obviously, these players changed the game in that sense, because not only Iverson never won a ring, okay, but the way he played and how people related to him. All right, that's why he's rated so highly that he is. And I think that's the part where LeBron lacks the intangibles here, that simply the only people that can rate him the GOAT is they spill his stats out, okay? And then they sort of go away from the part where basketball is a sport and sports is about winning. And that's the point. And even LeBron says things, and all players will say things like they don't care about the individual stats. And he's about to grab one of the most relevant sort of individual accolades, I guess, to have the most points of all time. Great achievement, don't get me wrong. Okay. But it's not the pinnacle of sports in general.
I feel like I'm gonna be a smart ass and be like, "Oh, what's he take? What's he take?"
My take is that even with this all time scoring record, it's really not that important for LeBron and his legacy.
I think, we had this discussion a couple of years ago, and we talked about the failures shouldn't be held against him, as the only thing, right? Because the reality is he got to the finals more than MJ did, right? So that's one of the arguments that you make, right? When you lose in the first round, somehow that looks better than making it all the way to the finals and then being unsuccessful. We've talked about LeBron being, statistically an underdog in a lot of the series he's played up against. Goes up against the Spurs twice, which are like all-time teams, goes up against the Golden State Warriors dynasty, doesn't have success there. It I think LeBron is number two, and he's locked that in, and he's just cementing that, and he's basically making that unachievable. And then it becomes down to two categories. Michael Jordan has that elusive kind of perfection that people perceive, where he dominates a decade, he changes an entire sport. You could make a case of say Jordan is the reason why contracts blew up the way that they did, because the TV deal exploded, the international brand goes. And the hard part is LeBron can't be a pioneer for something that's already been done, right? So then how does he reinvent the game? And in a sense, he just amalgamated everything, right? So he's going to get Kareem's scoring record, but he's also going to beat most of the great point guards. I think he has passed Magic Johnson in assists. He's going to have more rebounds than your average great forward. And he's got the durability of Karl Malone, and he's got a handful of championships to compete with the greatest. That's his kind of legacy, is that he'll probably be the best all-round basketball player. But then for Michael Jordan, it's the 6-0, it's the double dynasty, it's the change the league, it's the could do whatever he wanted to on the court. It when you made the take and said Luka has the chance to be the next go or the go, I think assuming that the finals record doesn't fall apart for him, Luka exhibits a lot of those same categories where you just watch him and it's just like he's going to do whatever he wants to do. There's not really a weakness in his game. And I don't know if you caught the recent ESPN interview, but LeBron kind of alluded to the fact that at different phases in his career, he had weaknesses, right? So people would want him to shoot a jump shot for a while, and they wanted to force him to the post because he didn't have a low post game. And he's definitely evolved, and he's got a lot of admirable characteristics that people should really, identify. He takes great care of his body, constantly trying to improve, makes his teammates better. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm not in disagreement with you anymore. He's got 2 years, really 3 years tops to win two more championships. But I think we can both agree that he would not be the main contributor to that, because the Lakers are not going to be winning a championship in the next 2-3 years. And if he jumps ship to get those two extra championships, he's definitely not having the same impact that he did on the first four. So, and you know what? And ironically, it'd just be mimicking the Michael Jordan aspect. And that's the thing. LeBron will be the greatest Frankenstein of GOATs, right? In terms of individual things. He'll take all of it and he'll be that version of the GOAT.
I think you covered it just before. I think I think everyone needs to really accept that LeBron is going to be number two. All right, the second greatest NBA player of all time right now. Okay, and he's not going to go any further up, and he's not going to go any further down. And it's a great achievement in itself. Don't get me wrong, but people and fans can spill all these stats for all they want. I don't care. You can get 40,000 points, okay, but it's still not going to, all right, make any difference to his legacy, okay, because it's already in place.
Well, all it does is it's kind of like moving the goalpost for the next person, right? So, if he talked about Kevin Durant being the most likely person to pass the scoring record that's currently active. Pretty hard for Durant to do based on injury history and how many games he misses per season. But let's say he does get that scoring record, we still will hold LeBron over him for the other statistical categories, right? We look at Steph Curry, who's currently 4-2 in the finals. Even if Steph Curry went 6-2, he doesn't get that Michael Jordan elusiveness. And he probably won't have the statistical things for LeBron. So I think that's where LeBron's really cementing himself as number two. And I know this sounds really odd to say, but being number two in the best league in the world in the past 75 years is not a terrible thing to have achieved. And there's a lot of reasons why Michael Jordan had the success that he had. And timing is a huge part of it. If LeBron played in the 60s, like the way that he did, perhaps he has 11, 12, 13 championships, and we're talking about him in a different light. And same for Jordan playing in 2023. Maybe he just doesn't have that same level of success. They're all big what ifs. But LeBron has used the time that he has wisely. He's clearly number two.
Yo, this is Two Guys with Spare Time. I'm Faz, this is Nick. You're probably a basketball fan like us, so hopefully you can throw us an assist and giving our video a like and subscribing to our channel.
And if you got thoughts, feelings, or even some suggestions, please put them down in the comment section below. And thank you for using your spare time to watch us in our spare time.